Welcome to
basketball's entertainment. I don't think nobody can deny that. It's such a big thing nowadays. It's really starting to turn into an entertainment type of thing. So you have to go out there and give the people what they want. Give them a nice little show and I like playing with enthusiasm. I like going out there and I'm just really having a good time. Getting the fans into the game, pump my fists, bump my teammates' chests, and things like that. I mean, we're young guys. We deserve to go out and have a good time. Usually when I get a fast break, the crowd really gets into it. It's like you feel electricity just go right through you. It's like you gain another 5 more inches. Just say, oh, I might do a 360 here, a windmill here, or even try a JR Ride if I have enough gut. It's been a great experience for me. I've been able to handle it pretty well, I think. Because my family's behind me, they've been supporting me throughout the season. I'm just going out there playing basketball and living up to my own expectations and not trying to live up to everybody else's hype. I'm just going out there, having a good time, enjoying my senior year. And that hype that comes, I just let it flow. There's no secret to success. Sure, you hear about people having amazing stories, coming from a poor household or things like that, but there's no secret to success. It's only hard work. If you study hard for a test in physics or English, you're gonna do good. The more you study, the better chance you have to get that A. The more you dribble, the better dribbler you become. So there's no secret. You just have to work hard at what you do. If you continue to work hard, you'll be a great player, trust me. Not only a great player, but a great person. I still remember as a down-to-earth person. A guy who enjoyed his teammates, enjoyed his classmates, and was able to excel in basketball. I'm just a nice person, an extreme competitor, a person that you can come up to and talk to, have a nice conversation with. But overall, I don't want to be remembered as just a basketball player. I want to be remembered as a smart kid, got great grades in school, was a nice person. Those are the 3 main things I want to be remembered as. The basketball is just icing on the cake. That I worked hard at having from day one. When they come to Los Angeles or they're facing the Lakers, they know that they're going to be in for a fight.
Mentally, you have to be focused at 48 minutes, maybe even focused during halftime. That guy.
You have to respect greatness. Kobe is one of the players that is just great at every aspect of the game. You know, he has what we say, he can master the game, and you have to respect it. And you have to really be on your P's and Q's when you're going up against him, because if you slip, you're gonna fall.
Kobe Bryant's probably one of the top, I would say, 10 players ever to play the game.
For him to approach the game with the consistency he does is, what really sets him apart and makes him one of the all-time greats.
Kobe's probably the most talented player
on earth.
I love his game. I'm a huge fan of his. I've said this time and time again. He's definitely, if not the greatest player of this era, one of them for sure.
When he's on the court, it's just like magic. It doesn't seem like he's going. It's like everything is slowed down for him. He make his move. He just gliding and gliding. And to give you one of them right there, he just go up. And it's like, it seems like it's slow motion, but it's like amazing to watch. Like I could sit down the bench and I could watch him do all those moves all day.
I'm having a lot of fun. When I'm on the court, I'm having a lot of fun. That's what it's all about for me.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Focus TV. Definitely somber mood, somber vibes the last 48 hours here. I think pretty much everybody's heard about the tragic incident that occurred on Sunday. 9 people were in a helicopter accident, and unfortunately, there were no survivors. Those 9 people: Alyssa Altabelli, Carrie Altabelli, John Altabelli, Christina Mauser, Sarah Chester, Peyton Chester, Era Zobayan, Gianna Bryant, and Kobe Bryant. Before we get into sharing our thoughts on this incident, and just on Kobe in general, I want to go ahead and take a brief moment of silence, and we'll be right back. All right. So, a couple of I know Cardell, we've talked off wax a couple times already. Raymond, we saw what we got here. I've been talking to a lot of other people too. This is one of those things that was definitely felt by many, many people on so many different levels, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's so difficult to not only discuss it, but kind of even just kind of wrap your mind around it fully, right? Because of those different layers. So what we're gonna do here is, what we normally do. We like to keep things organic. We're gonna take some time and just share thoughts, either the initial reaction when we found out, just feelings over this past 48 hours. So whoever wants to start.
Initial thoughts are just shock and disbelief. Like, I still really haven't completely wrapped my mind around it. And then over the past couple of days, it's just been just reflection and just thinking about what he offered, not only to basketball, but just to the world in general. I think we really started to see him blossom, and the world got a taste of his personality in his post-basketball career. When he was in the league, he seemed kind of shut off and not open, you know what I mean? But, as he started to get into the twilight of his career and after he retired, we saw the full range of him, with the Grandy Studios and seeing relationship with his daughter Blossom, you know, it's just tragic.
For me, it was like I don't even really have the words. Like you said as well, like I still haven't wrapped my mind around it. I still feel like it's a dream, kind of. Every now and then, I just find myself randomly thinking about it. And like, this can't be real. Like this didn't really happen. When I initially started seeing the reports on Sunday, I was just like, this is crazy. This is a hoax. Somebody is just trying to do, get attention or something. But as the reports continued to roll in and it really started to sink in, it was just mind blowing for me. It just reminds you of how fragile life is and how at any moment it can be taken away from you, no matter who you are. I think that's the part that really got me the most. I saw a lot of reports. One that stuck out to me, Lamar Odom just saying how he felt as though like he just imagined that there's no way that could have happened to Kobe. He was like, I imagined he would have just jumped out the plane, landed feet first, and just stood up and been like, what's going on? And to realize that nobody is bigger than this. Like, it can happen to anybody. And as heartbroken and shocked that I was initially about Kobe himself, but I really just feel like his daughter being there really kind of put me over the edge. And that's really what touches my heart the most. And just being a daughter and being a daddy's girl and being like, that was me and my dad all the time. My dad was my coach, from the time I was 7 all the way through high school. So it really touched me, and knowing how much I know my dad loved me and how much he would do anything to protect me. And what really got to me, like, I don't know why, I just keep going back in my head and just thinking of how scared she must have been in that moment and how hurt Kobe must have been in that moment, knowing he couldn't do anything, knowing he couldn't protect her, knowing that there was nothing he could do to stop it. And that dynamic right there just really, it bothers me so much. And to know that, we all feel it in a gravity of Kobe the celebrity, Kobe the idol, Kobe, the longtime Laker player, as much as people grew up, especially in our era, that grew up idolizing him. A lot of us were able to see Kobe from the beginning of his career all the way to the end. And we look at him that way, but to step back and always think that he is a man, he was a father, he was a husband. And as much as it hurts us on the outside looking in, I can't imagine the pain his family's going through, his wife, his other daughters that lost a dad and a sister, Vanessa, who lost a husband and a daughter in the same time, and even those other families who lost, like, I think one, I don't know if the college coach and his wife and daughter, I don't know if they had any other kids, but to know that a whole family right there could have been gone, like an entire family unit. And just knowing it's something that they've probably done a million times. We take for granted how precious it is to come home every day. Mm-hmm. You take it for granted until things like this happen, and it puts it in perspective. Like, you gotta thank God every time you get home, because it's not promised. And my heart just goes out to everybody he's touched, because it's, and I speak as someone who was a Kobe fan, but I wasn't a Kobe fanatic. Don't get me wrong, but I always respected his game, because you can't deny it. But I know people that are die-hard Kobe heads, from the beginning, and I feel for them, because I couldn't imagine losing an idol, especially a lot of them probably aspired to still meet him one day, and not being able to have that inspiration anymore, just thinking one day I'm gonna meet Kobe. Not being able to continue that thought process for them. I just know, especially being basketball players, it comes down to it. And I always love the fact that Kobe always pressed the women's game, and me being a former player, that always held something special in my heart. And I'm heartbroken for everybody in this situation.
Cardell?
You want to go?
No, I'm going to go after you.
I mean, for me, it's just, the basketball stuff speaks for itself, but his impact on me is understanding the game in the deepest sense. I know he got all the knowledge from the greats from yesteryear or whatnot, but a lot of times, they showed it with action. They didn't verbalize it. He verbalized it. He broke it down to a science where you can get it, and you really understood, like, you see where his love for the game came from and how deep it ran, and you understood why he became what he became, because he went deeper with it than pretty much every player, with the exception of Jordan and a couple others. You could throw Jabbar and all those guys in and whatnot. Like I said, I became more of a fan after I guess you could say the Shaq era. Always respected his game, but I think he became more authentic after the off the court situation in the Shaq era, because I think he realized, man, I just gotta be me. People, he was kind of, I guess, trying to be the marketing guy at first. I call it the fro years. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as that happened, they treat him like one of us. They let him know you still a black man in a sense. And then he said, you know what, I'm gonna be me. And if y'all like it, y'all like it. If y'all don't, y'all don't. And I respected that more. I respected the fact from day one he said he's going that mic. And I understood that logic. A lot of people got offended by it. I'm like, Jordan's the best ever. So even if you fall short of that, which he did, if you fall short of that, you better than everybody else, man. So that ain't bad. And he became the bridge between the greats from yesteryear and the current players. Yep. A lot of the current players, they're overly sensitive. They don't like to listen to criticism, and it comes from the entitlement. And it don't apply to all, but most of them it is. So they kind of turned off to the old time players. Every time the older players from yesteryear say something, the first thing they say out of the game is different. I ain't trying to hear all that, but Kobe became the bridge for that. And Kobe kind of understood, like, look, man, since they grew up on him, he understood how to connect with them and communicate with them in a way where, the old timers they haven't figured it out. And he passed away, so he got the message across to them, but his delivery was different. Mm-hmm. The old timers, they just blunt, like, man, you need to play better defense, man. You're not being a leader. Youngers ain't trying to hear that. So Kobe, like, look, man, if you do this and do that, it'd be better for you. The team would get behind you. Like, he knew how to decipher, right. And he got all the knowledge from the legends that he sought after when he was young and got the information from, and he's giving that information to the current crop. And you see it with the growth of Kawhi. You see it with the growth of Giannis. I mean, good Lord, like, where he's came from the last few years, it's been rapid. You see the growth, man, and it's not by accident. You know what I'm saying? And these youngers don't even realize indirectly you are getting the game from the old time legends, because he's the one he's bringing it to you. You know what I'm saying? If you just get over yourself and understand that, and honestly don't worry about, get to the point where you mature and don't worry about the delivery. Look at the message, because they've been there, done that. They know exactly what you're feeling, what you're going through, and it helps speed up that learning curve so you can get to where you want to go. But that's on them. And you see the guys that kind of take it, like the Kawhis and the Greek Freaks, you see why they got there real quick.
Yeah. So
it's up to them to be there. So, and just the history of the game, man, how he really saw that. I mean, when I say bridge, I ain't talking about Jordan, though. I'm like going all the way back to Bill Russell. Yeah. Bill Russell was the mentor. People don't know Bill Russell was the guy that squashed the drama between him and Shaq. He the one that, like, man, kill all that, man. It's come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been years. That's over with, man. Like, y'all got a lot of kids looking at y'all. Set the example. Be better than that, which is what he did. So they squashed that, and they made peace recently, and a couple years ago. So it's just big, and then that's the one thing I'm most proud of post career with him, is he became that bridge to teach the youngins. So hopefully they impart, the standard, because the standard can't bend for people, man. I don't care what the media says or how they try to switch it, or these analytic guys coming in. The standards, you got to dominate, you got to win, and you got to do it in every way. And if you're not doing it, we don't want to hear about you being the best this, the best that, man. You got work to do, and he set that tone. Obviously, the entrepreneur, Mamba Academy and his work in the film world, telling stories, trying to teach the younger generation in that facet. I mean, that's self-explanatory. I picked up this work ethic, his drive. He let me know it was okay to be great. Where Jordan did it more by action, he verbalized it. It's like, man, it's okay to be the great, yeah. And he broke it down, like I said, to a science where it's like, if you strive to be great, whatever it is you do, it's gonna be a lonely road, because most people are mediocre. They're comfortable being mediocre, being with the crowd, because that's where most people are in the crowd, mediocre. But if you're gonna be great, you're gonna be alone. But once you get to a certain level, you're gonna be embraced by other greats, and then you're gonna realize it was all worth it. And that's what I picked up from him individually. And so don't be afraid to be great. Just strive for that. And and then obviously how he taught was key. He helped me when I first started doing media. I was still in player mode, so it would affect me when I'm looking at players. I'm like, man, he just ain't that good, because I was looking at him like, if we about to play, I'm gonna go at him in this facet and that facet, but you gotta take that competitiveness out of it and look at it. Well, you gotta be objective and appreciate their talents for what it is at this stage. You're not about to play against them, so it's unique talents and it's different levels of talent with every player. So embrace it and all that, and then what I'm doing as far as evaluation for scouting and breaking it down media wise or whatnot. Man, just tell it like it is. Just be straight up with it, and you don't necessarily have to be negative and tear down a player to help them understand, like, you got ways to go. But I see your foundation. You do have talent. Just keep working. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people can't turn that off once they get on the other side. They're not playing no more. And like Octavia said, the thing that hit me the hardest in the situation was the father, the daughter being with him in their demise, man. Because from afar, privately, I was looking at him. I'm like, man, how are you going to navigate this spotlight with your daughter being who you are? Obviously, I'm not a global icon, but my daughter has a passion for games. She's bugging the hell out of me to play. So, but I'm like, I already know what's gonna come. I'm like, man, because your daddy played and he's in the media scouting. She's getting all this because of who her father is and stuff like that. And my thing is, like, well, she's dominating, she win the games. I can't make a call to make that happen. That's her getting it done. You know what I'm saying? But I know people gonna talk like that. And being an overprotective father, my thing is, do I want to put her through that? Like, she's literally bugging me. My wife is texting me videos, and like she with her friends at Dave & Buster's, and she the only one that can make jumpers now. Her crew and stuff like that, all of them throwing it everywhere. She the only one, and I haven't even given her real instruction. I'm just like, man, and like the questions had gone from, can you teach me how to play basketball? Like, when are you gonna teach me how to play basketball? And my wife looking at me like, you better make some time. I don't know what you're gonna do. You better hop to it. And I'm just like, man. But that's in the back of my mind why I've been hesitant. So I'm like, because you're going to really have to love this, because, they're going to come after you. And in some areas, I'm not going to be able to protect you. Some things you just going to have to battle through. Mm-hmm. So I want you to have that deep love so you can battle through. Because this game will test your soul, man. It will test you, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you find out you really love this, So that's what took me over the edge, is when I found out. Because at first, they just said Kobe. And that's bad enough, but when I was like, dang, man, his daughter gonna quit now because her father gone. That was the bond. Then I found out, oh, she was with him. I'm like, that just made me sick, man. Because I'm just gonna keep it real. As a father, like Octavia said, my main job in life is to protect them. So I keep going back to, well, what if I was in the helicopter and that was my daughter, and you see the demise coming? Like, what do you say? Do you lie to your daughter, say it's gonna be all right? Do you just hug her and just try to? What do you say? It's helpless. And then she's 13, so she clearly understands what's coming. She's scared to death and all that. And that's the thing that keep going on my mind. It's been hard. This is the first time in my life I can't watch basketball, because every time I see a basketball, I'm going right to that part. Where it's like, if I was in a helicopter with my daughter and I seen the demise coming, what do you do? And it's like, I can't take it. You know what I'm saying? So I literally have not watched basketball the last 2 days. I don't know what's going on. I just need a break, because it's tough, man. It's like, and the first thing I did when I ain't even go to the gym. I just went home and hugged my daughters, because it's just like that. I'm like, damn, man, I just saw you on IG wishing your oldest a happy birthday, man, giving LeBron props for passing you and all that, and then it makes it even worse that they were traveling 15 minutes away to his gym to do the thing that they both love to do, the bond that they had, what made Kobe who he was, a worldwide phenomenon, coach and play a basketball game. And we also should pay respects to their teammates. Yep. Mm-hmm. They lost teammates, they lost sisters, they lost friends, they lost a coach. So they're forever shattered. I mean, I can't blame them. Just like, basketball ain't for me. I'm going a different path, because this is a hell of a shot. And it just, the whole world feels it. You could just see it on Twitter. I mean, I've been dibbling dabbling on social media, but it's hard to consistently stay on it, man, because it's just.
Probably not good.
I mean, it ain't. I mean, like last night, I just say I can't watch it. Like, I'm watching comedy, trying to laugh, just trying to block out. But it's tough. Like it's tough, man, because it's not just that they went out. It's the way they went out, man. And they went out hard, bro. So condolences to their family, man. Man, you see, like, damn, dog, like Vanessa. I'm just, dog. What do you say to her, man? Like, it's no one in her. Maybe Lauren London can identify with it. You know what I'm saying? Because of what happened to Nipsey, that no one can really understand that pain. Because you haven't been through it. You gotta go through it to understand something like that. So it's just tough.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much everything you guys said is like, that's been kind of like the place I've been at, and I'm sure a lot of other people have been at. Like, and you gotta think about it. What we like to do is enjoy sports, and like I told my wife, she was asked about the Super Bowl. I was like, yo, I'll probably not watch it. Like, my team in the Super Bowl, I was excited. Like, literally,
it took it all.
Y'all know I just don't care. I might go to movies and sit by myself, and whatever happens. Like, how can you care? And I think like that's why I wanted you to go first. Well, one, Octavia, speaking from the perspective that you brought, thought it was great. Both you and Raymond being parents. And I think, like, thinking about that, and that's why I said at the beginning, it just hit in so many different layers, so many different levels. It hits everybody, no matter where you are in life. It hits you a different way, right? Mm-hmm. I know the first thing that hit me was like, there's 3 children that were on a helicopter whose lives ain't even really started yet, right? 13, 11, things of that nature. And then the other thing was like, for the age, some of us are in, I think I can speak for the 3 of us or the 4 of us in that age group. Like, he's barely older than us, right? Yeah. Like, when he hit the league, we were all teenagers, or like about to be teenagers. I got you, Octavia.
That was a preteen.
You know what I'm saying? No, this is like, he had like 4 or 5 years, something like that. So like, and again, what I'm about to say before somebody takes this the wrong way, sports in '96, the way it was covered, is not covered the same way now in 2020. So obviously, athletes had agents and PR people, whatever, but it wasn't it wasn't the level of PR and control we see nowadays, right? So we got to watch him, like, flaws and all, and that's why I think it hit so much. Is it was a little bit more open then in terms of what we saw, right? And then the other thing, like you said, he threw the gauntlet down early. I'm going after the GOAT. And it was amazing to watch. And as you said, where he fell short, that's great company. The place that he fell short, there's a bunch of people that aren't in that place.
All the time,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. When we talk about shooting guards, right?
Only but
that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't even mention the guy. He's not 3 names behind. You know what I'm saying? 3, 4 names behind. It's crazy. The other thing is, like, and you brought up, is I've enjoyed watching the impact he's had on this generation. And, we talk a lot because those of us that grew up on, folks older than us as well, Larry, Magic, Neek, Michael for some of us been blessed to see all of those to this point. It's been crazy to watch and to think, like, that whole little stretch of the 90s, so many special players during that stretch.
Which is why,
like,
not to cut you off, man, I get irritated when they kind of carry the era. I'm like, bro, you got to respect the era, dog. Because the dude that y'all looking up to and everything like that, he was the pup. They groomed him.
Dude, and
he was murdering y'all nightly. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't understand it. But that's part, I blame the media a lot for this. Because they feed off that crap, because they they kiss the current players' ass, because they need that access to stay relevant. And that's part of what you was saying before when you was like, media game was different, then it was more authentic and stuff. They ain't kiss the players' ass. If they like, you ain't get it done, you ain't get it done.
Knowledgeable type of media too, right? From a basketball standpoint.
You had to be, so man. Otherwise, it was hard to get the job. It's not just about writing. Like, I tell people all the time, they be trying to make up stories. I'm like, the story is the game. There's plenty of stories within the game. Just watch the game.
But see, that's the part, is if you don't know the game, you don't know what you're watching. So
it's
fan
stuff, man.
That's where we're at. And that's why, like you said, as you said, I thought it was wonderful. You mentioned he was a bridge for so many people from that, because everyone's not in the same age group, right? You could look at Kobe. If you didn't see Mike or whatever, you could look at Kobe, and if for a lot of folks, if you heard that he was one of the closest to be like the original, that gave you one heck of an idea of
how nasty the original was.
Right. Like if you didn't see it, you got one heck of an idea, because Kobe left you with some moments. You was like, oh, really? Really? And he retired within the last 3 years ago.
Yeah, 2016.
So I mean, it's still, again, this is why it hits like that. And one of the biggest things I loved is for me personally, like with growing up with Mike, is that will, that drive, that relentlessness. Thank you. One of the few where it was there, and again to piggyback off what you said, he just spoke it. Where with Mike, we at least for me, I didn't need to hear it. You could see it. Like you saw it. There were levels, and it was clear we could see the difference. So just may all of those folks rest in peace, and we offer nothing but prayers and thoughts to those that survived and that are left trying to put their lives back together.
And then it's just real quick.
Yeah.
Obviously he made history being the first guard to make the jump out of high school. But what the thing with Kobe is that made him easier to relate as a player, he literally experienced every aspect of developing as a player. Mm-hmm. Like coming back from overseas, he always told the story. He gonna play in the Sunny Hill League, and keep in mind, you gotta think of how embarrassing that is. My father played in the league. Like I know his whole family from up that way. They're like basketball royalty in Philadelphia. His uncles, they all played and did work. He ain't score a point the whole summer. You know what I'm saying? Like that's embarrassing, dog. They like Kobe. I like Joe. Somebody just want to focus on academics, dog. Like it's crazy. But he had to get it acclimated and to go from like 13 years old, not scoring a point in the summer league, to by the time he's 17, he's the number one player in the country. That speaks volumes. That's his drive and stuff like that. So he went from that to being a top player, not playing in the league at all, being a sixth man, being a starter. Then it was on and on when they started winning championships, being a second, then became the leader. So it's nothing about this game as a player, whereas you growing as a player, you experiencing different roles and stuff. It's nothing he couldn't sit down and talk to you about. Because like Jordan different, man. Like once he kind of figured it out, got on varsity, it was just on after that. He was just the top dog. He forever. So he can't understand like being a role player. I mean, his freshman year in North Carolina but once he hit that shot, it was a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So he like, look, man, why can't y'all do what I do? And like right. Phil had to tell like they not you, dog. Like you guys gotta come to grips with that. So it's different, but that's where the connection he can get with any player. Jen. Gigi, we and you joke. We joke all the time. Like, look, man, AZ coming with Maryland. Just wait 5 years. Gigi will be there. And y'all be good, man. We always go back and forth. But
I watched 5 minutes of that game last night.
Bruh, I couldn't.
When they put the chair on camera,
I couldn't do it.
Man, I clicked on the first movie on my YouTube TV. Whatever was there to hit resume. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I can't.
Because bro, it was like a week and a half ago. I'm on IG. And I see her run, see her man off on the block, get the joint, do the little Kobe joint, and shot the fadeaway. I lost. I was like, dog, she got.
It was his footwork, dude. It was his footwork in that clip, and I was like,
hit the fadeaway. I'm like, she's shooting fadeaways at 13.
She's a mirror image of him, man. It's crazy.
She got the whole thing all right. So I'm like, I was excited to see her grow because I'm like, I think she's going to do. I really honestly felt she was going to do for the women's game what Magic and Bird did for the men's, as far as like making mainstream.
Well, even
bring it on.
The crazy part. Think about the impact she had already.
I mean, but it's the growth, and the thing I noticed about when she shot that fadeaway, her father wasn't in there. Her father was probably somewhere conducting business, so the assistant was coaching. But so that's her still having that. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Understanding. It's like it's not relying on her father. Like I got it in me, though. Like I'm gonna get it done. So I just felt like she was gonna be the one that like take the WNBA, boom, because Kobe gonna be right there. Look, she's worth $1 million. Like we gonna kill this barriers. It's time to bring in $1 million players. It's gonna be big time endorsements for these women. It's time to make that shift. It's about that time, and it's gonna start with my daughter. And I know he'd have been in the room making sure all that happened. So once she got it, all the girls we got it. And I was excited to have that happen because now if my daughter's playing. All right, it's time. Y'all got it now. So if you work hard, you can possibly get that. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's, it's gone now. It's going to have to fall on the way to some future play we're not aware of right now. And it's just, maybe it is AZ. Who knows, man? You know what I'm saying? We don't know, but it's sad, man.
Very, very much so. But we're going to take our first break. And when we get back, we're going to be talking about something. We're going to see what it is. I would love to tell y'all, look, this is where I've been. I took all day, like, what's it called? Me and Cardell were talking yesterday for like an hour. I literally did the show plan on the phone because if I didn't do it while we were on the phone talking, we wouldn't have had a show plan because Wilson wasn't being productive. I have not been productive since Sunday.
It's
probably
hard.
won't be the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Bro, I was excited for the season. See maybe the Clippers and Lakers run, but if Greek Freak could pull it through,
Dude, I legit don't care. That's where I'm at
It's
right
like, all
now.
right, congrats, dog. It took it all up. And then he's supposed to go in the Hall of Fame with KG Duncan. Man, I already told you I was going to do it because that's the other thing. They supposed to all go in together this year.
That group of players.
It would have been the greatest induction, Joe. And come on, man. Now that whole Hall of Fame thing is just going to be sad as hell.
They leaked the info is going to be Phil and Mike bringing them in. Like, man.
Of course it was. Like, and they still probably will.
But
it's gonna be gonna be rough.
That whole thing's gonna be rough. But again, you're watching the Focus TV. Thank y'all for riding with us through this very, very long first segment. But look, man, we gonna talk through it. We're not the only ones going through it.
Mm-hmm.
So just tweet us, share your favorite Kobe moments with us, things of that nature. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Focus TV. As always, fun times during the breaks. If y'all only knew. All right, man. So like I said, we had to throw the whole show plan.
We'll see y'all next week on that.
Next week, maybe, no promises. We might be back on schedule. We'll see what happens. I don't know how next week's going to turn out, so we'll get there when we get there. But Jamaal Haywood, 9-4-50. As always, want to thank him for the job he does. Very, very consistent. This week is going to be showing us the options off the drag dribble. Again, showing us the options off the drag dribble. So go ahead and check that out. Right after that, our second break, when we come back, we'll probably finish up talking about this whole Super Bowl thing on Sunday, in which I lost my joy for it, but it is what it is.
I can't even be petty.
I mean, you can. I just won't care.
I don't have the petty in me. I lost it.
But check out Jamaal Haywood and 9450 Breakdown.
Today we're going to work on the drag dribble. We're going to show different options that you can utilize off the drag dribble, going left and right, different moves that you can use to create space to get your shot off. So I'm going to start from the top of the key. Start with my right hand. So I'm going to drag to my right. So one of the options that you have is to drag to your right. Here, hard step, pull the ball back, bring your right foot back. Since I'm going to my right side, when I drag here, I step hard with my right foot and I pull the ball back. So that is called a pullback without a dribble. Same thing going left. Shot. Another option that I have here, when I drag to the right, step behind. So drag, step the right foot back, forward, behind the back, create space, shot. Same thing going left. Here, up. Another option that I have here, drag, step, go between, create space. So I'm going right, I come back left. Hard drag, up. Same thing going left. Here, left foot out, up. All right, today we're going to work on the drag dribble. We're going to show different options that you can utilize off the drag dribble, going left and right, different moves that you can use to create space to get your shot off. So I'm going to start from the top of the key. Start with my right hand. So I'm going to drag to my right. So one of the options that you have is to drag to your right. Here, hard step, pull the ball back, bring your right foot back. Since I'm going to my right side, when I drag here, I step hard with my right foot and I pull the ball back. So that is called a pullback without a dribble. Same thing going left. Shot. Another option that I have here, when I drag to the right, step behind. So drag, step the right foot back, forward, behind the back, create space, shot. Same thing going left. Here, up. Another option that I have here, drag, step, go between, create space. So I'm going right, I come back left. Hard drag, up. Same thing going left. Here, left foot out, up.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Focus TV. And as always, thank you so much to Jamaal Haywood for the job he does with the 9450 Breakdown. Learn something each and every week. Last week was probably one of my favorites. Talked about the Starberry cuff. Loved it. So, I tell you, this whole Super Bowl thing, what you got for us?
Yeah, man. I mean, it happens on Sunday, and we're going to see who wins.
That's what we got. All right, look. I got it.
Hey, she channeling her mama. Be you. Be her.
So I mean, like you said, kind of a little bit of the joy is out of it. I'm hoping that I have enough joy by then to at least watch it and enjoy it, just because, I mean, I love sports completely. But of course, if you don't know by now, the Super Bowl will be Sunday, 5:30 in Miami. You have the Chiefs and the 49ers. I will not be petty today. My petty has left the building. It might be back next week. I don't know, guys.
Sure it'll be back next
Who knows?
But
I mean, like,
especially if y'all lose.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be all time high.
Oh my
God. Hold on. Hey, look, I might not be here. If I check my phone, it's like if we lost by a little bit, I'm cool. If it's like we got punched, man, I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. I'm not coming to Delaware. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm not gonna have the patience to see it. Or what's it called? I show up during the segment. I'm gonna be in the back with Rodney.
As long as you can still hear me, it's cool.
I know I'm listening to music. As long as you can take us, you can take us out of a break and into the next one. I'll return after the break.
No, but I mean, I definitely think it's gonna be a great game. Like we kind of talked about last week. I just want to see how Mahomes is in on the big stage. You know, they talked about so much about how they didn't get there last year and how close they were, or how close they felt they were to getting to the big game last year. So I'm really interested to see that. I really want to see, because I like y'all running backs, and I really just want to see which one is going to be on. And
nobody ever knows.
Yeah, and that's my point. So to me, it's like a wild card. It's like, well, which one is it going to be? You know, I haven't.
Tev should be playing. I got you.
Thank you, because I was going to say I haven't been able to check really if Tevin Coleman is going to be good with his shoulder injury. I did think it was kind of interesting, Raheem Mostert talking about getting a new deal and everything, and then they put that clause he can't surf no more. He gotta pull back on the surfing, which I understand.
Okay, look. If you're a special teamer, you can surf. You can start running that.
You want the big bucks, you might have to put that on pause. And it seemed like he was fine with it. I just thought that was interesting, of course. But you know, I want to see Sherm. I want to see if he's gonna, you know, be the Sherm from I hate to say yesteryear, because it's not like it was that long ago, but the Sherm from, you know, Seattle, and if he's going to be able to pull it out. I want to see if Jimmy's going to be on his game in the biggest stage possible, you know, in the NFL for him. I just think it's going to be an all-around game, a good game, and I'm really interested just because, like I said, Andy Reid is probably one of my favorite coaches all time in NFL, and he's arguably the most accomplished coach that has not won a Super Bowl. And I feel like that this would seal his legacy if he's able to get it. But it ain't gonna be no easy feat for him to do it. So I'm just ready for the game at this point. You know, just get out there, see who wins, who's on, and who wants it bad enough.
Yeah, just a couple of things for me. The middle of the field is gonna be big for both quarterbacks. That's where both quarterbacks like to get most of their work in. One of the things like Kansas City, where they get a lot of their explosives from, they take the track stars. If you notice, most of their track stars don't do the work on the outside. It starts inside. They line them inside in the slot. They run them ugly crossers, and there's nothing you can do about it. One interesting thing is that one of the few teams that slowed them down this year was the Gus Bradley defense. Gus Bradley, Robert Saleh were part of that Seattle staff. There's a lot of Gus Bradley and Saleh's play calling. So I ironically, cover 3 is something that slows down the Chiefs or has bothered Mahomes a little bit. And surprisingly, one of the things that he struggles with is play action when he doesn't get pressure. But when you pressure him in play action, he's like surgical and unfair, and you unlock the button in which commercials and endorsements and stuff like that happens. Obviously, we know both offensive lines going to be under siege. I saw Frank Clark said something interesting like, the Niners never seen me, and dude, you played them 8 times in the division when you were on the Seahawks, so I don't know if anybody ever informed you that we're in the same division and played 8 times. But I'm interested to see what team's offensive line holds up best. It's going to be big for both quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks, you know, contrary to belief, both of them can move a little bit on the perimeter and make things happen. And then the other thing is open field tackling for both teams defensively. You know, the speed that the Chiefs have in the pass catching game, and I would say the issue for the Chiefs would be the physicality the Niners pass catchers have once they catch the ball. Is those guys, they might not have 4.3 speed. Debo wants to run through you. KB,
I mean, his name is Debo for a reason.
Like his
he
parents
actually
must do
goes
something.
by Debo.
That physicality for corners, we know corners don't like physicality for the most part. They're trying to run through you, not around you, and things like that. So it'll be fun. And then Honey Badger, it's the reason that their defense has been so special. Is you know, sometimes every once in a while coaches do the right thing and let the special guy be special. He's been lights out, so it's gonna be fun watching him, Sherm, those special dudes with what they do. Where a lot of the times they make plays even when you're not targeting their guys. If you're in the area, you know, special people, you know, those caliber of players do different things. So, you know, it should be a good one. We'll see what happens. Oh, and then my last thing, would be for the Chiefs. I know they got a penchant of getting behind. This ain't the game for that.
Oh yeah, no, they can't do that.
That'd be my only thing is, if I were them, I wouldn't want to get in a hole because that's one of the things, no matter the sport is, digging yourself out of holes. I don't care how explosive you're often. Sometimes you go to hit that switch. Sometimes some holes are too deep to climb out of. So that's be my only thing.
Yeah.
For me, it's just real quick. Can the Chiefs go in the red zone?
Yeah.
They're explosive going the length of the field. Big plays, bombs, big runs. But I looked it up, and they only score in the red zone 54% of their trips. They only score 20 during the regular season. So if they're not bombing you, basically, you can slow them down, and that's not being talked about enough. Also, who's gonna stop the run? You know what I mean? The Chiefs have done a good job. They finally stopped Derrick Henry. Held him 69 yards in the AFC Championship game, but can they stop? The group that the 49ers are bringing to the table? Because they want. It's going to be a fresh running back every time, and as the game going on, they're going to have to stay mentally tough and keep making tackles and whatnot. And, the 49ers running game been on the road so far in the playoffs, and then, they also did a good job. The Chiefs also did a good job against the Texans group of running backs. They held all four of those guys at 94 yards total, including Hyde, 44 yards. So I think that would be key. And then the 49ers defense. So they took away Dalvin Cook against with the Vikings. They held him to 18 yards, which is incredible. They kept Aaron Rodgers at bay for most of the game. He got going in the fourth quarter, midway through the third and then in the fourth quarter, but still, they kept him in check and won the game. To me, the 49ers front seven is the best in the league, and I know Patrick Mahomes like to scramble out of the pocket and make plays, but I think that's dangerous. I think Bosa is fast enough to run him down. If their corners are holding up in the back, I think he'll run them down and get to him. So it's just those little things I'm looking at.
It makes for a good game, and I know everybody likes to throw. Cross sports likes to throw defense in the trash these days because offense is also exciting. And the other thing I would say is one of the biggest difference makers, I like in Honey Badger on the other side, and no disrespect to Sherm. The other thing is you mentioned Bosa. The Niners defense is different when D Ford is healthy. Anytime D Ford is on the field, that seems a little bit different. He unlocks everything up front. Hey, we'll see. But rapid fire, what you got? Got time for a couple.
Oh no, that made me a little nervous.
I ain't even phased. For the first time, I don't even care. You asked what you asked. We ready. I don't even care.
You know the drill. Let's get ready. We're gonna start off with in wake of Kobe Bryant's death. Kendrick Perkins seeks forgiveness from Kevin Durant. Perkins tweeted, "Just wanted to tell you I love you, my brother, and whatever I did to hurt you, I'm sorry, bro. I hope you forgive me. I love you, real talk." What do you make of that?
I like you. I like the inflection of your voice when you read that.
That was his Kendrick Perkins voice.
Dude.
That was the petty.
First of all, pick up the phone and call that man if it's
Don't
that
have the
serious.
Oh, you got no. You could just be blocked. That joint just don't get through.
But my other thing is since Kendrick Perkins has moved into this this media role, he's been nothing but a shit starter. Can I say that on here?
We'll find out.
But
I like to cut so much on this show. Go ahead, man.
But yeah, he's always fishing for drama. He's the type of player I hate to see go in the media.
Yeah.
First you weren't that good.
Let's be real.
And then you get to get him behind the microphone and talk like you were that good. And you just being petty and you should be on VH1 on Monday nights because
they probably got rolled for you.
He's being a basketball wife. That's
He was draining him.
Yeah, we ain't get on national now, though.
He's gone now.
I'm sorry, man, but it seems disingenuous to me.
That's all right.
For real, man. He started it the other day with KD out of nowhere for no reason.
He been going to KD neck for a while. KD just let him live. Then KD finally had enough, and people looking at this man keep jabbing me, man. I'm going to swing sooner or later.
Yeah,
man.
Exactly, man. So yeah, that's my thing on it. Dude, if it was that serious, you would have called him, text him, and if you can't call or text him, then leave all that brother stuff out of it, because for one, you've been being petty for a while, and two, you have no substance to whatever you were saying. The man said you averaged 2 points and 3 rebounds playing starters minutes. Maybe you should be quiet about what happens on the basketball court. That's my take on it.
So the positive side of me, wants to. I didn't even get to finish. I was like, the positive side of me wants to be like, look at him. He's trying to be, a role model. He's trying to show people like, hey, we need to tell everybody that we love them now.
I hate this show.
The positive side. But then, the petty side not here now, but it was there. And I'm just like you said, like, come on, Brad. Like, I hate, and like you said, that's another one of my pet peeves. Like, people who feel like because they're in front of a microphone, they can say whatever they want to say. Like, we joke and we play about certain stuff, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to be biased. I'm not going to, like, say something that's not true just for likes and for, attention. And I feel like that's what he does. And like you said, like, you weren't even that good when you played, and that's and again, that's not me being shady. Those are facts. Numbers, no, they don't lie, So I just feel like you said, like, he's just being an instigator at certain times. Like I said, the positive side wants to be like, look at him trying to build a bridge, but yeah, I don't really believe it.
I ain't got nothing.
I'll get to it.
That's you got it.
I mean, I'm gonna just quote something that Bill Russell said that I love. He said, "Apologies come up empty to me, because if you were truly sorry for what you said, why did you do it in the first place? Why did you say it in the first place?" He said, "A lot of times people are sorry for the reaction to the action that they gave out, and it's easy to separate what's real and what's not." So. I mean, that's just my take on it, man. Like, if I'm Katie, I ain't trying to hear all that, man. You just emotional like everybody else. Like, you gonna keep it moving and all. So
we'll see how long it lasts.
Exactly.
What's the other question you got for us?
I mean, he's a star. His mind.
He's a star in his role.
I say in his mind. Richard Sherman wanted to put Jim Harbaugh out of the league. He said, "I wanted to put him out of the league." In an interview leading up to the Super Bowl, and once I got that done, I had no animosity towards the 49ers organization. Sherman played for Harbaugh at Stanford, and the 49ers cornerback said earlier this season that Harbaugh accused Sherman of quitting on his teammates by undergoing season-ending surgery in 2008. Sherman, then a wide receiver, wasn't allowed to play offense in his redshirt junior year and fell to the fifth round in the draft. Thus, Sherman left college with bad feelings towards his head coach. He said, "There is nothing to mend. The bridge was burned down, torn down, and built another bridge at another place. But the bridge in this particular relationship will never be rebuilt. I don't think he is interested in it, and I'm not interested in it."
You said he's harping on something from 2008?
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's a long time ago. Like, and then it's like he's not even. Like, why are you saying it now? Like, what's
because they're in the Super Bowl.
49ers.
And Harbaugh was the last Niners coach to take the Niners to the Super Bowl.
I mean,
and Sherm got in their way a couple times too. So that's all. I didn't want to ask.
This must be a slow news day. But
yeah,
I mean,
get a soundbite, so.
I get it, but like that didn't stop you from achieving what you set out to achieve. Like, I'm not gonna tell the man how to feel, how to express himself, but
it cost him some money though, a lot of it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
like money's involved. Feelings last for a long time.
Okay, so think about that. Dude's pretty much outperformed every corner outside of like maybe a handful or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. If not every. I'm just talking. I'm not gonna take the time to look at the numbers because since he came out the draft, went 5th round. What do top flight corners go for right now? The Browns got a pair of 1st round corners right now. Young boys ain't accomplished nothing. This is like the 3rd set of young boys. They done drafted 1st round.
When you say bad teams do what?
Bad things. So if he was a 1st round corner, that first chance, the NFL it's not that NBA money guarantee money. Mm-hmm. That first big check would have been quite substantial.
Yeah.
If those things are different. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool, Rich is smart and he's done okay for himself or whatever, but
you can't recoup that.
And not only that, your junior year that happened, like it was almost a death sentence to somebody.
And as a competitor, when they question your heart and your want to get out there, yeah, that ain't hard to let go. Cause like nigga, you questioning my integrity, my manhood, dog. Like I'm hurt, dog. I'm about to go under the knife. You act like I'm enthusiastic about getting cut on. Like this injury is bad, and you up here saying I'm quitting on my teammates and stuff, and then you demote me when I come back, and that hurts my draft stock. Oh, I'm like, yeah, and it costs millions, and in the NFL, you're not getting those millions back. Yeah,
especially when you guys talk about how much we've felt with like college and players not being paid or not getting their worth in college. So I already didn't get that here, and then now I have to suffer even further as I'm trying to grow my career. So I mean, I get both sides of it. I understand like the narrative behind it of how it's coming up now, and I mean, I just feel like that's how he felt, and that's what he wanted to do. And if that was something that he needed as a drive to push him forward as he continued to play, sometimes you need that. And I think sometimes certain coaches take for granted the relationship that they have with their players, and not realizing certain stuff that they do to them can actually really hurt them, not even just in a sports mindset, but as a man, like you said. Like, it had to be at one point in time he really trusted Harbaugh. You got to think about it, in order for him to sign up and play for him at school. And sometimes when you have that trust between certain people and you feel like it's broken like that, that can hurt. And I agree with him saying, like, there may be nothing to mend, there's nothing to talk about. I would hope that at least somewhere down inside of both of them that they've at least forgiven each other in regards to that. But that does not always, like my mom tells me this all the time, like, you forgiving somebody does not always allow you to put them back in the same position they were in your life previously. So, I mean, because the forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. For you to be able to move on and continue to grow and progress in your life. So I hope at least for himself internally that he was able to let that go as far as forgiveness. But he's right. There's nothing to talk about. It happened. It was what it was. I'm not going to let that person get that close to me to be able to do something like that to me again. So it is what it is. But, I mean, it's unfortunate. Definitely, especially like you said, when it comes down to a competitor, because that's the worst thing that your coach can tell you. Being a player, for you to feel like you're going out there and giving your all the time, and especially with injuries, because a lot of times, I mean, I can't say 100%, but most of the times, injuries are not something that you plan on getting. It's not like he wanted that to happen to him. And a lot of times, those decisions that those players have to make are one of the hardest decisions that they have. To be able to, like, I need to either preserve my body so I can continue to play, or am I going to stress myself out now that could possibly end my career before it even really gets started. So I'm sure that's one of the biggest decisions that a lot of players have to go back and forth about. And that rings true with all the players that are retiring early as it is now, with concussions and knee injuries and all this stuff that's going on. So I definitely think it was a sensitive subject probably for him, which is probably why he feels the way he feels.
And you also have to put this into consideration. If he said that when the team heard it and all that, imagine what scouts from NFL teams would come, what he was saying to them. That's why he feels so fifth in the draft. So he assassinated not only his character, but what the real situation was, and it hurt him. So yeah, I'm like, nah, ain't no love for you, dog. Like, nah, you stay over there. And I'm just going, when we play against y'all, since we in the same division, I'm going to F you up. And then now that you out, whatever, it's all good. I'm happy. Just because now it is what it is. You should never do that, man. You know what I'm saying?
I just feel like sometimes coaches just don't realize how much power they have.
Not that. You gotta know your players. Some players you can't talk to the same way. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
that's what I mean.
You gotta understand each player, like, in a way, because of how I grew up and having to take man responsibilities in high school, I would let coaches know, you can't talk to me like I'm some little boy you out here, whatever. Like, I was paying bills in high school, so, like, talk to me straight up like a man. And it done got to man situations with my coaches, but they respected me for that. I'm like, don't talk to me how you talk to these little, that will never fly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even let my father talk to me that way. So you gonna talk to me with respect. Oh, we need to just get in there right here. And I develop a reputation here, but I don't care, man. You don't, like, I'm not here to be a dickhead, man. Just tell me what you need me to do, and I'm gonna go do it to the best of my ability. But don't be out here playing mind games and manipulating and bucking and yelling like, dog, you're not gonna talk to me that way. That's just how I roll with any man. So, I mean, you gotta understand who your players are, and that's what coaches struggle with and stuff. So maybe that's what he struggled with. Who knows? But it is what it is.
Nah, he deserves every bit of that because even during that time, during that rivalry or whatever, that could have ended early from the coach, from Harbaugh, early years in San Francisco. And we kind of just, now some college coaches are, man, they stick to their guns even when they're wrong about stuff. Double down, triple down, and not to be mean, Michigan, you happy with what you got? Like, it is what it is, man. Like, just, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm not surprised by that. That's just, it's funny, but look, man. It's like they were talking about how simple that offense was when, like, Rich Sherman was always talking about it. How simplified that offense was during those times. Those teams were going at each other. But, it is what it is. But we want to thank you guys for riding with us today. We will be back next week. And as always, get over to finestbag.com.
Will you be here?
I don't know. MyMonosports.com. I mean, I'm going to be here. I don't know if I'm being here for your segment next week. MyMonosports.com, finestbag.com. And, we'll see you next week. This is The Focus TV.